been a while, you know?
Yeah, I do.
Not really in the mood for it today.
You're not?
Nah.
You turned it off recently quite quickly as well.
Just in a pissy mood, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Everything going okay, or?
No, not really. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Jimmy gave us rainbows.
Think about that. Just think about that.
No, everything's fine. I'll explain.
You could be fucking dead, dude.
That really helps. Would you rather be Johnny Payne and alive or Jimi Hendrix and dead, you know?
100% Johnny Payne and alive.
I actually don't know if it would have been very fun being any of those guys, really.
No.
It seems like they were all pretty troubled,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
I'd be Paul. I'd trade for Paul.
Well, you know what, man? It's better to burn out than to fade away, you know? I saw somebody said us the thing of
Well,
Neil
isn't it the other way around for him?
No, it's not. You know, well, it depends if you're talking about rock and roll. You know, think about it. That's the way that all those guys are going to be remembered. You know, they went out at their top, at their peak.
He didn't.
And, you know, who, Neil?
Yeah.
Well, no, but he says, but you know, there's a lot, that song's about rock and roll, man. That's what I was singing about, rock and roll.
So is he not rock and roll anymore?
He says there's a lot more to life than rock and roll.
He's had to change his statement.
There's family, you know, there's children in life, there's nature,
train sets.
There's trains, there's farms, you know.
He loves them.
Yeah. Well, he definitely has had to change his... Somebody made a joke that cracked me up that I was talking the other day about cars and farms. That's what I'm into. American cars and farms.
Yeah, exactly. Great record.
That's the bootleg, like, archive sort of follow-up to American Stars and Bars that...
American Cars and Farms.
Yeah, but it's all the outtakes. It's all the outtakes.
To me, that's when it starts just slightly veering towards not that interested to listen anymore.
Yeah. It's one thing to have a ranch and have all your buddies out there to like record and party and stuff. That's cool. Yeah. But it's another thing when your whole life kind of is just about cars and farms.
When you've kind of like more barned to the max.
Well, your life is more barn.
Yeah.
When you take that and kind of let that saying affect your whole life, you know?
Yeah.
More barn. What do I need? Where do I need to go in my 40s? More barn.
Yeah, chili cook-offs.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
It is 100%.
I'm a bit more barn right now.
Well, you need to start releasing records at the pace that he did.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing really that's different between.
I've got an idea for two. I'm going to put 2 albums out. I'm going to do the one that I've done. That doesn't count. I'm going to release 2 next year.
Nice, man.
I'm doing it.
Of course you are. I believe you will.
Now that I can record it,
fucking amazing.
Thanks.
What
man.
you really should do, the play is to get them done real quick. Mm-hmm. Is to you write it, you find a week, and I'll come out and not speak, and I'll just press record.
That's how I want to do it, man. Yeah. I have an idea for, man. I got an idea. This is so
I
Neil.
Have to start doing that.
This is so Neil that it's actually laughable that I'm realizing this now because it's cool that we're doing these pods because
the best thing you can do is tell the internet. Yeah. Your laughable idea is tell the entire internet.
Well, no. Basically, actually, you know what? I'm not.
I'll be the judge of whether
basically,
it's laughable.
It's laughable that we're doing these Neil episodes, and I actually didn't put it together that I actually really am in a kind of a Neil phase. But basically, I want to do a record next year that I record live,
right?
And with a band like that style, like no overdubs, and just sing it. And I want you to come and engineer. With and hang out and try to get some fun time cooking up out here in the barn.
Music being fun, that'd be crazy.
That's all. I mean, I was thinking about this in terms of like it's all basically for me. All it is like what you're doing right now. It's like the process of making it is like the best part to me. And it's like, why not just do stuff that's cool that like you've always wanted to do that would be fun to try, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like I'm under no illusion that it's going to be like a big hit or something. So I just want to do it with some good people, good musicians, and have a little bit of fun. Man.
I do. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the studio every day for about 3 weeks now, and I'm working with another band right now. It's amazing. It's amazing music, and they you can see the enthusiasm that them creating good music that they're proud of. It elevates them, and then it elevates the songs, and it's really exciting. Music. Here's a hot take: music can be fun.
I know. It usually is, like when you're making it, when you're writing it, when you're recording it, when you're performing it.
Well, I can do the whole John Berger thing, and everyone can take a shot. It's like creating art is like playing. It's like where we get to be children still. So.
Oh, for sure, toys. And I love when you talk about like music stuff, like sound toys and stuff. That's all it is.
I think
that's all this stuff is.
And music, and when we were kids, playing was quite serious at times. Like you talk about it being fun. I had a moment the other day that I'll just explain the moment because it is quite wonderful. I was recording with Yukon Blonde, and our studio. We have right now. I'm working in a different place, but I was recording with us, and I've played and recorded music with those guys for like a decade at least, and in various different places, in lots of studios, and then we sort of took control of the factory ourselves about 5 years ago and started recording ourselves. And Jeff, the singer, he lived on an island for a while, so we would go out there sometimes for like 2 weeks at a time and just record and drink and just have a really good time as the four of us, or the five when Rebecca was around, and which was amazing because she's amazing. But there's a combination of things. Basically, like Jeff, how people's houses have smells, like. I know my apartment smells like me, and I think it's a lot to do with the records in it and the books. I'm not really sure, or just the fact that like some of the furniture, well, most of it has followed me around. So if I go away from my apartment for a couple of weeks and come back, I smell it, and I'm like, oh, it smells kind of like my old apartment here. And like, it's strange. It just kind of like people have smells. Well, Jeff has a smell, and it's really familiar to me, and his apartment and his house now smells like his place that was on the island, and it's really soothing to me. Like this smell, it's like being in his world. It kind of feels cabiny. I don't know how to explain it. So we're recording, and we did this. We've been recording kind of functional days, like 10 till 6, 10 till 7. 10 till 7, 10 till 8. And then we just had a lot more to do one day. And I was like, I'll just stay over. Like, I'll stay over tonight. He has a spare room. So we're recording in his basement. It's really decked out. It's beautiful. It's dead cozy. And it was like about like 11:30, and we'd just been going all day. And I like decided to go outside and stand outside for a second. And I had a cigarette, which is, not my, I don't smoke right now. So I was really like in the zone. I was like in it. Like I was in my more barn energy. And I was just sat outside with a beer in my hand, having a cigarette, in this like really safe, comfortable space with my like 3 friends recording, and everyone's been working really hard, but it's like that serious play where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go outside, and when we come back in, we'll do that harmony. Brown wants to sing. Okay, good, we'll fucking do that, and then we'll do that, and then we're gonna do a tambourine. We'll wrap this song up, and it's like been like relentless all day. And I was sat outside having a cigarette, thinking about I've got to finish this, I've got to go back inside, we've got to do this, and it's so exciting.
It is, yeah.
And I remember I really felt, and I said to the band about it, I was like, it's truly the happiest I am. Like, and it's a really simple happiness. Like being, like it is like playing when you're a kid, and I'm just like a little bit manic in this fun way. Like I want to get back inside, but I also want this moment to like think and like ingest a bunch of substances so I'll be even better when I get back in, and it's all just happening. And it's amazing that at 40 years old, like I still truly get the same, if not more, joy out of those very simple experiences that I did when I was like a kid playing football.
Yeah, I
it's
I know the moment you speak of exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
I mean,
It's
I
a
made
great
it sound a
feeling.
bit like The Sound and the Fury then, because it's like it's the
No,
smell to
it's
me.
I know
but
it's
just
the
fucking
exciting,
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
you can get those moments in all aspect of music creation, which is really amazing. Like writing a song with someone or by yourself. I've had that happen.
I never get it by myself. That feeling, never.
I get it writing a song. I definitely that for me is the most excited I get when you come up with something and then you like go for a little walk and the lyric comes to you and you're like kind of creating behind your brain or whatever.
Yeah.
But it happens in the studio too, and also it can happen on tour, which is something that's rarely happened for me. But I always wanted that feeling of like being out on the road with a band and everybody's super pumped on what you're doing out there and being like, hey, what if tonight we just like did the tune this way or like extended the solo or like we did a cover of this and everyone's really stoked. And you see it in like music documentaries and stuff. But I never really had that. Everybody's always a bit like kind of like, in my experience, a little kind of burnt out or whatever. But
Yeah, it certainly takes a certain kind of person to be able to maintain touring at the level that we tour at. Like, I mean, I've definitely like come through a major burnout, which was probably like just before COVID, like 200 show year, playing like maybe half of them were good. And then other ones were like, okay, I'm going to Japan or I'm going to Europe and it's cool, but then I come back and it's like no time, there's no personal life. And I definitely like hit a wall there that I've come through, I think. Like, I think I could do that again now, but I'm not sure. So like, yeah, I mean, but it does take, it takes a certain type of person because I recognize this more when it's just the four of us, when it's just me, Jeff, Brandon, and Graham, like, we're so close and we've done it so much together that those moments of like, okay, I guess we'll just like drive for 9 hours and stay in a Motel 6.
Yeah,
and
I
just
know.
get one room and all share it. We're all giggling by the end of the night still. It's like we're kind of weird people. It's a weird relationship. We shit talk each other all the time and stuff.
But-
It's not like we're all fucking tight all the time, but like just this like level of like having each other's back all the time.
Yeah,
And
well, that's of course.
knowing what you can settle for. Like,
Yeah,
it can be shitty and it's
but
fine.
That's wonderful. But like, I think what I mean more is like, when a band gets to a certain level and you see videos and they're like doing like a huddle before the show. And they're
we
like
do that. We do
singing
that for
to each
sure.
other and they're like all like high-fiving like a football team about to go out and like blow it away for a bunch
Yeah.
of people. Like, that's kind of what I mean. I'm sure that's a great that I've never really experienced that one.
I mean, you've got to keep that going. I mean, it's harder when you're playing smaller shows, but
Yeah, I
like
know,
when you play a packed room and
it was never like that when I played at
Yeah.
packed rooms
We
with the
definitely-
Shilohs.
definitely
Nobody
had
even
that.
fucking high-fived. Everybody was too cool for school. Hey, we're going on. Okay, cool. See you out there. That kind of thing.
No, there's a lot of we've got some good hype up, play your fucking hearts out kind of moments.
I like
that's why
that.
I
I
talked
like
about
that
it when
kind of
when we're going to do
football
your
team
when we're
mentality.
going to do your Red Rock show.
Yeah.
That's going to be my energy.
Well, yeah,
as band leader.
I would like to experience that with people who really care, and no offense to my old band, but people who really are excited about going out to play a show and do that would be awesome,
Yeah, I think that there's a level of preparation for that isn't necessarily in equipment and gear or in like its mentality. It's like
100%.
knowing. Like, I've scolded people in my band after a show, not for
Yeah.
playing badly, never that, but like for being like, how fucking lucky you are, like to be playing for people and you look grumpy about it, like So I
Definitely, man. So did I.
Yeah. Oh, no, so I mean, but ultimately, like, I think that it's amazing how much joy music still manages to give me on a very base level of just doing the same things that I've done for 20 years. But it is, to me, community. It isn't. I don't really get. I understand. Like with songs, I used to have that feeling more maybe when I was a bit younger. But these days, it's more about the community aspect of it, the recording aspect of being around people and watching them do really good things and knowing that it's building a thing. it's a bit less of a pressure cooker to having to do it all myself, I think,
Well, you take what you can get in this world, I have less community now, so it's like I have to find the joys where I can,
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what I do. But I agree with you. Like, there's no one way to find joy in music. Like, it's the most wonderful thing. I'll go even further and say I'm amazed that I still get joy coming on here and talking to you about records. Like, I get fired up sometimes when the energy's flowing on this show. Like, and I'm like, I can't believe it. I'll turn it off and I'll be like, I can't believe I just got that excited, like a little kid talking about the Beatles again.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Like,
I had a good idea, actually. How about this for an idea? I'm just going to say it on the podcast, and someone's going to do it. So, you know what? If you're in a band, I'm just going to say it because I don't care, because it is all about community. If anyone's in a band, how about this for an idea?
Yeah.
Bam. Okay. You make your record. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're a heritage revivalist.
Yeah.
So you've made your record, and it's great. And
probably has pedal steel on it.
Yeah, sure. Or you made it, and during the making of it, you were like listening to the White Album at some point, because you always are, or something. And you're like, man, wouldn't it be fucking cool to have the drums wide right, the vocal left, And you're like, that would be cool, but Sonos or something. We're not doing it, and that's fine. That makes sense. I get it, because we're not the Beatles, and it's not that era anymore, and ultimately, like, they're the only ones who do it very well, I think, anyway. So how about this for an idea? You make your record the way you want to make it, and then you do a 60s mix of it.
Beatlesy
mix, right? And then, even more so, you do the Beatlesy mix, and then when your label, because you're making it yourself or whatever, really, you get the stems, make your Beatlesy mix, fuck it, do a mono mix, do a Beatlesy one, then your record label, when they've stopped smoking their cigars, they get in touch with you about December and say, hey, we need to promote your band and we don't know what to do, so we're going to put it on you to figure it out. Record Store Day is coming up in April, and Jack White's not bogarting the turntables this year, and Taylor Swift isn't. So you can put something out and you're like, we want to put out a Beatles mix of the record.
Right.
And then it never goes online, and people have to buy on Record Store Day your Beatlesy mix of your album.
Yeah.
How about that for an idea?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so anyone does that, do it. I'm happy for you to do it. Or even if you do it and put it online or whatever, it's fine. But just maybe add me as the producer.
Producer, yeah.
As executive producer.
Executive producer, yeah.
Yeah, that would be all I ask. Or just guru, ideas, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's the least they can do.
I would say so.
I'm concerned.
Yeah. So that's where
I was thinking. So I heard that from a friend of mine who's a club owner, that live music
club owner. Oh, he owns a club, like a live.
He owns
club.
a live music venue that live music is on the way out. I'm not sure whether that's true, but apparently a lot of people are doing live podcasts. And I had this thought: should we do the show live?
I mean, you could. I mean,
a show.
What would it'd just be the same as this?
I know, but maybe people would come and see it. Maybe they'd like that. I don't know. If people think that'd be good and they'd come to Vancouver to watch us talk, then let us know. Maybe
I don't think that live music is on its way out.
No, I know, but I heard from this person that they're going to be doing less live music at their place next year. And more like DJs and that kind of thing.
Well, if it's the place I'm thinking of, then that's a good idea, because their programming isn't exactly wonderful, and it's always too fucking loud in there.
And it's probably that they're trying to keep things like free for people to come to the bar.
Keep it free because it's actually just a bar. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So
that would be my assumption, that it's not exactly the most welcoming music that they program there. Sometimes they do, but there's a lot of kind of really heavy abstract stuff going on in that place.
Yeah. So maybe it's for that place. It does make sense for sure.
Yeah, and also like comedy is kind of within the niche world of that place too.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
And cerebral stuff, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you go to shows often, which I do, and if you enjoy going to shows and you live in a place where you actually see shows publicized, it feels quite the opposite. It's harder to tour and stuff, for sure. There's more variables financially, but there's loads of shows in the city all the time that are good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're
No,
just
I know.
they're just not at that bar.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sure he was kidding when he said that.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, I don't mind doing a podcast live, but I'll tell you what I'm going to need.
I think it'd be fun, and maybe we could do like a kind of circle of fear pump up thing before, and I could experience it via our live podcast,
Yeah, like don't blow it. Like a circle of fear, or just
That
like
kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? Though? I was just gonna say what I'm gonna need if we do it.
What's that? In your rider?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to talk about my rider.
I know what I'll need first and foremost.
Why don't you tell me?
Well, I'll tell you what I need is right away is a double shot of no smoke espresso.
Okay, interesting. Because I was actually gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I also was just gonna say for anyone listening to this podcast, and Johnny, I'm sure you've felt this energy. Can you tell that I've just drank a double espresso no smoke coffee? Because I'm on right now.
Well, I saw when the show opened. I'm going to go this far. You looked a little tired. You looked like you just woken up.
Well, you heard what I said.
You said something. You were like in a bad
life's
way.
Over.
My life's over. I don't want to listen to this fucking crap song anymore.
Exactly.
Nothing's going well. And then something started to happen, like physically.
Now
you look like $1 million all of a sudden. You drank that coffee.
My skin's improved.
Your hair just sort of settled into a nice style.
Yeah, I know.
The skin's got better, and now you're funny, you're happy, you're crushing it. This is what happens when you drink no smoke, in my experience. But
no smoke coffee, no smoke, no mirrors, okay? That's what we're talking about. This is doing exactly what it says on the tin. This is coffee that is doing what's coffee meant to do for you, Johnny?
Wake me up, make me a better person in every way.
Yeah, exactly. And this is and it's so fucking true that's what
better
no smoke
father,
does.
a better friend, a better podcaster, a better musician.
Yeah. So that's what I get out of this. And you know what? The thing is, there's no bullshit here, okay? That is what no smoke is offering you. Just to be a better person in every way and also wake up.
Yeah, it's great coffee. Okay. If you want to know what I only drink heavy hitter these days because I love it. I'm addicted to it now.
Yeah.
That's one of their brands. If you go to nosmokecoffee.com, use our discount code IWALL15, you get 15% off. And I spoke to someone who ordered, and they said it basically winds up being the same or less than going and buying coffee from anywhere, even if you order it from anywhere in the world with the discount.
Of course, it's basically you're in it's a Sam's Club style thing. It's like Costco, really, if you think about it.
So if you drink coffee and you order it, then we'll keep getting it.
If you become a shareholder if you use that promo code in the company.
Exactly.
So you can like profit share on the earnings that come from no smoke. That's a guarantee from this podcast.
Yeah. So thanks, Ted.
If you want to get addicted to coffee, as addicted as me and Johnny are, this is the coffee to get addicted to.
It's the place to start.
And it's a gateway drug. What's more
first bag's free.
What's more rock and roll than having an addiction?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, we started the podcast with that. So whether you're a casual morning sipper or a seasoned coffee aficionado, so if you're into kind of Lou Reed's mid-70s music, John Cage, that kind of stuff. Or if you're just into, I don't know, like Elvis Costello,
Joe Walsh,
the Ramones, or Joe Walsh. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can if you're into LaBradford, you can drink this shit. It's all it's all there, And just listen, if you're seeking the next unique micro lot. So if you're still looking for the niche of music that you're into, it's not even invented yet. It's probably some kind of like hyper pop coffee. They've got something for you.
I'd like to try that.
Yeah. Anyway, the aim simple is to provide great coffee without the need for smoke and mirrors. So they're not going to make the Statue of Liberty disappear. They're just going to give you what you need to be a better person in life. IWALL15, nosmokecoffee.com, and you're on you're on the way to a better day, as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take, I'm going to do today. I'm going to take it to the studio with me, see if it changes the vibe
let's
in the
have
room.
a report on that. Let's get some feedback from the boys.
Yeah.
So before we talk about Neil Young again, anything to say about the Jane's Addiction, scenario fiasco?
I mean, is it?
I don't know. Just seemed
I
kind
don't
of
know.
eyeball.
It looked sad.
It is sad, yeah.
It's sad that they're touring. I mean, there's probably... Okay, so I wasn't really ever into Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, I'm not suggesting you were, but I don't even know the records. There's 2 records, right?
Nothing shocking. I my sister really liked it. I definitely am familiar with the album.
Yeah.
I saw them live once at a festival. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, Dave Navarro is normally the one with the live mass mentality. It seems that the singer has kind of taken over a little bit.
I think he's troubled guy. Perry Farrell, yeah. And
you have to stay troubled if you're in that scene, though, a little bit.
But I think, anytime you physically attack a member of your band just because, the sound is bad or something, you got some problems.
It looked as if, it looked eerily like all of their crew was expecting it to happen.
Yeah, and
they were ready to beat him up. They jumped on stage.
The bass player didn't even hesitate to put him in a headlock and pound him in the stomach 3 times. They wanted
waiting. It to happen.
They were waiting.
And Dave didn't seem interested.
No, he's a lover, not a fighter, man.
Yeah. So, to be in the Chili's, I think you have to be.
Also, though, I bet if he wanted to, he'd probably beat the shit out of Perry Farrell.
Yeah, Perry Farrell's pretty old and weird.
And Navarro's probably doing fucking core workouts backstage and he's
Well, he's got that live mass mentality. He's got to stay in shape. He's still
boxer.
He's
style.
openly a very sexual man. He's got he's kind of that Dracula Aerosmith energy.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if you've been in the Chili Peppers, there's an
initiation
and survived it. There's an
Yeah.
initiation, presumably.
No doubt.
that
It's
goes
like the
on
Stones, kind of.
there. Yep, it
Yeah.
is. It's exactly
Yeah.
the same.
And he's still, he looks great and he's still doing it. So he's definitely done something right. Live mass.
Yeah.
He's probably sober now, obviously.
Yeah, you'd think so.
I would think so.
Well, he's got a TV career to protect too.
He's as Hollywood as it gets. I remember being down in Hollywood, California one time and going to I've told this stuff on the pod before about this era where I would go down as a teenager and hang out with a guy who was in a Lifehouse, that band.
Yeah, massive band.
And he was this is 99, 2000. I'm talking rock and roll's fucking still alive and well in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it still is.
Not really even smartphones or anything. We're talking the strip is fucking bumping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
decline of the West kind of vibe.
And I remember he took us one time to it was the Pussycat Dolls. Remember that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Great band. Yeah.
So we went and saw them at some theater right in Hollywood, or on the strip. It was one of those things. And I never forgot we're watching this, and at the time I was this sucks.
Yeah.
And I was what am I doing here? It's
but
really
strangely
funny.
You're interested in watching it for some reason. You can't
something
really
about me as an 18-year-old boy. I found it somewhat alluring in some way.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking to myself fuck this, dude. I'm into fucking John Wesley Harding. What the hell am I doing here? But then
Beatles reference there.
But I liked Chili's and stuff too. And then all of a sudden, Pussycat Dolls are playing, and who walks out on stage with Dave Navarro?
Fuck yeah.
Shirt off, Les Paul shreds a fucking solo over one of their songs, and they're all woo, doing. He just plays a solo, doesn't even stay on for the whole song, and just walks off.
Well, he probably hasn't got time.
Yeah, he's kind of Michael McDonald.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I just pictured it that literally he showed up, Michael McDonald came in through the back door, did this little, walked off, and they handed him $10,000 cash right there.
Exactly.
And he's I'm out of here. Just a great time in Hollywood,
and then he went
really sleazy.
Went back to the Viper Room.
Viper Room and Saddle Ranch, dude. All those places were line up.
Yeah.
Really
Leather.
sleazy. Talk to Luke, but potentially like as sleazy as like the 80s, that era. It was just really kind of bad. You know?
Luke lives on the strip now, so
He was there at that time, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was my crossover guy. Like he was
you were in his crosshairs, I think.
he was kind of like, if I needed a break from all that strip energy, I'd be like, I knew Luke around then. I'd be like, take me to the cha-cha or something.
Yeah,
you know?
just like get me, like kind of bathe me in some kind of hipster.
I was just
bullshit for a
given
second.
fed all this stuff, and I was like, I don't know what to think about this. It's weird, you know. And then
Yeah.
I realized, oh, actually, I don't really like, you know, much of this like Sunset Strip stuff at that era. You know, now I'm back into the strip, kind of
Yeah.
really, yeah.
That would have
but,
been more of Johnny Depp would have been around probably.
Yeah, we went to the Viper Room a couple times. And saw a Guns N' Roses tribute band. Like that's
Awesome.
how. But that's what I mean. Like it's almost sleazier because it's like it's
Yeah.
not like Guns N' Roses are playing.
No.
It's like a tribute band, and everybody's there like pretending they're seeing Guns N' Roses or
Yes,
something
it's fucking awesome.
because they're so high. You know, it's just like that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think when the Beatles cover band played at Joe's wedding at one point,
Yeah.
I was like, it could be the Beatles.
Yeah,
I was willing to accept it.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
the
mean,
way you gotta do it.
I want to see him, so.
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
But only for about an hour. I've got to play a show next Saturday, and they want us to play for an hour and a half.
Good luck with that.
Well, we can do it, but who the hell needs to see a band like play for an hour and a half? Seriously,
I know.
you know,
Yep, I do.
it feels like a long time. We're just gonna, jam or something. 20-minute version of Cocaine.
You guys got a lot of tunes.
Yeah, we do. We're just gonna play loads of new ones.
There you go.
I think that's the plan.
So we had this idea to rank the Neil albums, which is something I think we should do.
We should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, but
It's a
all
really
the
good
categories
idea.
work. I've thought about them all. They all work.
We can rank albums. We don't need to rank people anymore.
No, but we can rank whatever
No,
we
it's
want.
no. I think it's great. I think look. The more we explore and use our ranking system, the greater the chance that another podcast steals it, and then we get some press.
Yeah, maybe I should like patent it or something.
Well, yeah, maybe. But those who know
Yeah,
that all of our great ideas get stolen.
I
by
think
other podcasts.
if our ranking system got stolen,
Yeah,
there
that
would
might be
there'd be it. There'd be like blood in the streets.
They're
in
watching
the
our
town of
stories,
New
Johnny.
Haven.
They're watching our stories.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
So we're gonna talk today about Neil Young.
Yeah.
The album titled Neil Young.
Yeah. Well,
Which
I
I
think
listened
we
to
could
for-
probably do 2 records, I think.
I you know what? I've got quite a bit to say on this
Okay.
one.
All right.
And I think that we can save everybody knows this is nowhere should probably have its own episode. I feel like.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's a big album. Maybe get Luke on or something, you know?
Yeah.
Neil Young.
Just concerned that we'll end up in a guitar ranking vortex.
Well, if that happens, we need someone to love us out of it. We might have
Yeah.
to switch to Steven Stills to get out of
Well,
that.
He needs someone to love him out of it.
Oh,
he
right.
gets loved out of it by just that guy at Monterey.
So
and
we'll
the
just-
and the band. Graham Nash, I think.
We can just talk
You
about
sent me
Graham
that
now.
funny thing the other day that cracked me up just before we
What?
get into Neil. That video of Johnny Cash talking about having a round table of musicians at his house.
Oh my God, that was
It's
really
so
funny.
funny.
He's like, I kid you not. I was doing my TV show in Nashville,
Yeah.
and I had a party, and Bob Dylan was there, and Joni Mitchell, and Chris Christopherson, Shel Silverstein, and Graham Nash, and he was
Yeah.
like, and I kid you not, we sat around that night after the show drinking,
Yeah.
and for the first time, Bob Dylan played "Lay Lady Lay," Joni Mitchell played Both Sides Now. Shel Silverstein played A Girl Named Sue. Chris Christopherson played Me and Bobby McGee. And Graham Nash played Marrakesh Express.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good one.
All on board the train.
Don't you know we're riding? It's Chris Christopherson sitting there
Just
like this.
slaps him. Spits into his spittoon and slaps him.
Comes above them from there, float the flowers in the air, over down them come the bread and stew. I want you to hear me now.
They're taking me to Marrakesh. Rhymes Marrakesh Express with Marrakesh. I wonder if he did the lines. He sung them, like the like harmonies.
Going round the run through the smoke rings in your mind. Imagine singing that for Bob Dylan.
Yeah, that's a kind of Donovan style moment.
Yeah.
for Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Shel Silverstein, Boy Named Sue, obviously also, but like just
Goofy.
became an iconic song for Johnny Cash, and
Yeah.
Shel Silverstein's like an amazing songwriter. So
Yeah, Both Sides Now is one of the best songs ever written.
I mean, that alone would be like,
Yeah.
imagine it coming around to Graham, pass the guitar. Graham, you do one. And he's
Hopefully
like,
he went first, I think.
I
You'd want
hope
to go
so.
first in that situation, and then
You
most
would.
people are just forgotten by the time
I'd
it
be
gets to
like,
lay,
that's
lay,
a good
lay.
idea. If I was in that room, I'd be like, hey, why don't I start?
I'll just start off with something goofy.
Something goofy. Exactly.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll start off with something fun.
Imagine going last. Dylan finishes Lay Lady Lay. And
and
you're
then
like,
you've got to go. Okay,
and
well,
then you're like, fuck. I guess I'll do. What's that one I was
he's
writing
only got
yesterday?
3 songs, so
What other options might he have had? Our House.
not yet.
Not yet. He didn't
That
even
would have
have
been
that one.
good if he'd had
That would
that
have been
one.
pretty good. Yeah.
No, he wouldn't have had Our House yet.
No.
He'd have had Holly's stuff, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
but that wouldn't be cool. It's got to be a new song.
Like Lady of the Island or something. Like, I'm trying to think what else is on that first
I
record.
can hear you, 'cause I need you. That one's good. Is it called like Pre-Road Downs? or
Pre-Road
something?
Downs. Yeah,
I like
would
that
have
one.
Been, yeah,
I like that one.
yeah, that would have been good. Yeah,
Oh, Teach Your Children.
that's the next.
Oh,
record,
still
though.
not out. What's on the first album that he wrote?
I think we just did it. Like
Marrakesh Express. That's it.
No, Pre-Road Downs.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe they.
No, there's one more. Lady of the Island. I think, isn't it?
That one's pretty good. I think.
I think that's his. That's what he does on that record.
Yeah.
He sings Marrakesh Express, Lady of the Island, and Pre-Road Downs. Let's decide which one you would have done. Here
I'm
we
going to go right out on a limb right now and say, besides Both Sides Now, that Me and Bobby McGee's the best song in that room. This is a good one. But you can't really do it acoustic.
I don't know if you can do Marrakesh Express acoustic.
This one you
Good.
kind of need a band, a rock combo
I
to
think
make
this
it.
would have worked.
Yes.
Yeah,
This would have been much nicer.
yeah.
This fits the room better.
It does much better.
We both knew this would happen when you first appeared.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
See, I feel like Christofferson would sit back with his whiskey and be like, I can listen to this.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's got a lovely voice.
Instead, he chose this. Jester vibe.
Come on, guys. Clap along, guys.
Looking at the world through the sunset in your eyes. Traveling the train through
Let's make the electric sound as if it were in Fez.
chickens call, animal
Chickens?
to war. American ladies 5 foot tall.
Not a big fan of
Yeah,
this song.
Not great.
Not a big fan of that song.
was
That
a
other
different-
one, Lady, I'm going to throw that on after this.
Yeah, it's
That
a really
was
nice
nice,
song.
man.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah,
He really
That's what I
chose
would
poorly that night.
maybe it hadn't quite written it. He could have done like "He Ain't Heavy" or something.
That's later, too.
Fuck.
71. Or something.
Bus Stop.
Maybe 67 or something. Bus Stop.
In that room.
Yeah. Here's one I wrote 2 years ago called
well.
Bus Stop.
That my brother wrote. Actually, I didn't
Yeah.
write it.
Okay, so
Sorry,
Neil Young,
You got a lot to say about this record.
a lot to say, and I'm looking forward to the ranking because
Okay.
I'd like the category, especially for this one.
Let's
But
do
anyway,
it.
I went for a run the other day and I listened to this album, and it's a very strange album. Neil
Yeah.
Young,
The first album by Neil Young.
produced by Jack Nietzsche, I believe.
Yeah, you said so. Yeah. Cool Stories in Rock.
Maybe Neil and him together, but obviously Nietzsche's paws are all over it. The production is at times demented.
Well, he
I would
dives
say.
into that spectry kind of
But it's a-
orchestra thing.
It's a mix of Neil Young folkiness and really orchestrated Spectre stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty keyed up production. Particularly like
Kitchen sink production.
the old Laughing Lady. I was like, oh, James is right. This is a good one. And I was listening to it, and then that section comes where it turns into like with the soul singers, and
Yeah.
it gets kind of like Sopranos theme song
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
No, it's
Woke
good.
up this morning.
It's good on Unplugged.
Yeah.
He does it on Unplugged. It's good. It's really weird if you know the version from Unplugged then and you listen to it, like, what's he doing?
But that being said, like the band is really ripping on it.
On Old Laughing
On the
Lady?
album.
Oh,
on the whole
in
album.
general,
Like,
yeah.
let me just look up on coolstoriesinmusic.com because I want to know who's on it because,
I want to know what love is.
yeah. Imagine playing that in that room.
It's a bit early, I think.
I know, but if you had written it in 68.
Yeah.
Recording.
Try to
think it
change the
would've
lyrics up a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it would work,
oh, wait.
actually.
Never mind. David Briggs produced it.
Briggs already, eh?
Crazy.
That seems weird to me.
It's what it says here. That's
doesn't-
crazy to me.
It's not his vibe at all.
No, it's not.
I don't even think he was
recorded. Yeah,
capable.
produced by David Briggs. Oh no, okay. Every song's a bit different. That's interesting. So a lot of it is Briggs and Neil, like The Loner is, but like Old Laughing Lady, produced by Jack Nietzsche, Ry Cooder, and
Yeah.
Neil Young.
That sounds a bit more right, yeah.
But listen to this band, dude. Okay, you want to hear who's in this fucking band?
Yeah.
On the Old Laughing Lady that I said is a ripping band. Ry Cooder guitar, Jack
Yeah.
Nietzsche electric piano, Carol Kay bass,
Yeah.
Earl Palmer drums. You might know him from a little song called "Be My Baby."
Yeah, sort of Wrecking Crew adjacent.
It's the Wrecking Crew on this, so that's cool. And they really, you know what's funny is, man, it just goes to show because the bass playing on it, on the whole album was really cool, I thought. And she's on it, and also this guy Jim Messina. Oh no,
Jim
no.
Messina,
He's a
Loggins
guitar
and
player.
Messina.
Yeah, he's a guitar player.
becomes-
George Grantham.
Yeah. Well, Messina joins Kenny Loggins, doesn't he? And he started Poco, I think, too. I think.
So
With Foray.
yeah,
One of or Rusty Young. Or, all these guys have the same name. It's like the Birds.
yeah. So
No Campbell, though. Raikkoud is taking Campbell's spot.
yeah, exactly. But and there's only like 3 songs or something that's
Probably
this
couldn't
crew.
afford that for the whole thing. It sounds like something that it's funny because it's such an antithesis to Neil's vibe.
That's what I mean. I was actually kind of refreshed to hear an artist struggling to like develop their vibe
That
early
makes
on.
sense. Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's human too, you know? It's like he's not quite there. It's some kind of demented decisions on the album.
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
But he quickly fixed it. It's like
Yes.
a good manager on a football team. You know, he saw the problems with his first record and quickly fixed them, like in a
Yeah.
year for the next one. You know,
It was the next year. So think about that, like how this is how quickly he fixed it. Neil Young was released November 12th, 68. Everybody knows May 14th, 69.
yeah.
So that's how quickly.
about 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Colin Larkin, number
But what's Colin Larkin got
number
to say about it?
124 on Colin Larkin's all-time top 1,000 albums. Everybody knows. That's cool.
Colin Larkin, we need to get him on. We forgot about
I
him.
really want to get him on. He's kind of the ultimate ranker.
He is, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's ranked every album in order. He's done
Yeah.
top 1,000 albums ranked in order.
Multiple times.
Yeah,
Multiple editions
Uh-huh.
of this ranking. Which just goes to prove that, ranking is an evolving thing, as you
It's
always
fluid.
say.
Yeah, it's fluid.
It never, look at this Wikipedia. All they do is talk about shaky and.
Yeah, well, that's where because it's got to be from secondary sources. So
Yeah.
they're going to talk about shaky because that's the book, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the book, yeah.
That's the book.
But anyway, let's rank it.
Let's do it.
And then we'll talk more about it as we rank it here.
Yeah.
Neil Young.
Yeah.
I reckon I can fit all of his albums on this one ranking sheet.
That'd be cool.
By the way, if you don't have ranking sheets, send me a message on the Discord or something, and I'll email you the file, and you can have your own ranking sheets and rank along.
I could just send them to every patron.
Yeah, I mean, every
on
listener can have one at this point.
I think it's a Patreon.
It's a Patreon only thing.
Don't give those people anything. They're taking us for a ride, man.
Yeah, it's true. Man.
Neil wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't. No,
in the
he wouldn't.
spirit of Neil Young.
Archives.
He would paywall that stuff immediately.
Like, remember when I told you that woman I met who he invited her to his house as like an investor for the Pono? She like gave her mother's. Yeah, I told this story that a while ago that I met her.
I've never heard this story.
Oh, dude, it's so bleak, man. That she loved Neil Young so much. Her mother died, and she inherited like $20,000. It was like all the money she had. Yeah. And Neil was asking for people to invest in the Pono.
Right.
Invest. Neil Young. Uh-huh. And anyone who gave more than or like $20,000 or there was some amount of money would get invited to his house for dinner.
Damn.
And she gave every cent she had. She came into Zulu and told me she was going to do this really sweet woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Like, you shouldn't do this. Like, I really, really tried to talk her out of it.
Yeah, you didn't believe in the Pono.
But there was it's not like she's a shareholder. It isn't an investment, actually. He was just taking people's money. Like, they don't get anything back.
Weird.
Yeah, it was like, because I think he thought that it would be like rich people just like donating money to the cause. So anyway, she said she was going to do this, and I was like, look, like, it's not worth it. But she was this kind of sad lady that I knew who spent all of her money.
Sad-eyed lady of the lowland.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of old laughing lady.
Yeah.
And she would spend all her money like going, like, you know, if like Stones came to Vancouver, she'd spend like the extra $500 to like get an autograph, you know?
Yes, yeah.
So she said she was going to do this, and I said, no, don't do this. And she said, I just really want to, whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. So the story goes, she went to Neil's ranch, to Broken Arrow Ranch, and had dinner. And she said she was sitting around the dinner table with her and a bunch of like rich Asian businessmen and like people like that who just like have gazillions of dollars that were like, oh, go meet Neil Young. It'll be cool, you know. Like corporate type people.
Yeah, it was a donor thing. I see. It was a donor kind of event.
Yeah. And then she's sitting there with like, her sort of in Salvation Army rags and feathers,
Yeah.
And Neil looks at her, focuses on her, and he says, I have to ask, like, what are you doing here? You know, like, you seem really out of place in this situation. And she told him the story. My mother, it almost makes me want to cry, honestly.
Yeah, it's really sad.
My mother died, and I used the money, the inheritance that I got to give it to you for this Pono because I wanted to come. I think you're great, and I wanted to come here and meet you.
Damn.
And you know what he did? He just thanked her, and that was it. And then they had dinner, and then they went in the room and listened to Heart of Gold on the Pono in his living room, and then he kicked everybody out.
It's fucking weird, man.
And she came back and told me this story, and I was like, you mean he didn't offer you like the money back or like some kind of thing like that? And she was like, no, but that's fine, whatever. And a lot of people, when I've told them the story, have said like, oh, maybe Neil just thought that's what she really wanted to do with her money. And who am I to say that? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, if you're Neil Young, do something else then. Be like, here's a guitar of mine or something.
Or
if
just
you get
maybe ask Elliot Rogers to look into who this person is and help them out, or just at least figure out why the hell you've taken 20. It's like you've lost any kind of understanding about what money means at that point.
Maybe. How about this? Tickets to a show. Anything. Front row tickets to the next Vancouver show.
Yeah.
But nothing. She came back and I was like, nothing? Like, I was like, he didn't give you anything? He didn't say anything else? That was it? She was like, no. She was like, it was great. It was so great. And I was just like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's dark.
And that's where my dark turn with Neil kind of began.
Did she get a free Pono?
No. Nothing.
Did they make
Nothing.
Ponos?
Yeah, it failed miserably.
Yeah, well, he's into Amazon Music anyway these days.
Yeah. But anyway, that's when it was around kind of, 2012 or something.
Yeah.
And that's when I really started to turn on Neil.
Yeah.
And now I'm coming back around.
Okay, cool. Okay, we've got 10 minutes. Let's rank it.
Hangability, Neil Young.
I mean, I've not really tried to listen to this album for so long. I've got it. I should have put it on.
You didn't listen to it? I love it.
I've been in the studio,
How about
man.
6?
I've been making
How about
rock and roll.
6?
Not even 6.
No, it's not fun to hang to. It's
not
really
fun.
mellow. I couldn't even run, really.
No, you can't
I just
run.
Stop and
You
walk.
could smoke a J maybe or something, but then
Not
if you
really.
did that, you'd rather put on the Dead or something.
Or the next album.
Yeah.
How about 4? It's not but it's not like unlistenable. 4 is good.
Yeah,
Technical.
it just doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't know what it's doing as a record.
Yeah, but there's a couple vibey things on it.
Yeah.
I think 4 is a good technical. This is interesting because the score starts going down, but it's actually pretty high on this album. The band's really good. There's all the arrangements. Technically, it's pretty good.
I kind of have a problem with Jack Nietzsche's arrangements. I don't like those Neil Young songs. I don't like A Man Needs a Maid and stuff. I don't think that they're that good. They're not like Roy Harper string arrangements or anything. They're kind of annoying arrangements. I'm going to go
Yeah,
as far
they
as
work
saying
with
they're not
Spector.
that technical. Yeah, they do.
They work with Spector. He arranged everything for Spector, right? Like all the castanets, all the iconic stuff on those girl group songs.
Which isn't really on this record.
No, but Loner, like the Loner when it has that.
Yeah, sure. It's nice. It sounds like a Western, kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme of the whole album a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and even the cover, it's got that kind of Western sunset. Yeah.
And it's, pastoral. There's like a couple of guys riding horses.
Yep. Even the opening song's an instrumental kind of cowboy
The
song.
Wyoming one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I realize that the whole thing is kind of a...
Yeah, it's cowboy.
Yeah.
It's cowboy themed. The Loner. It's a concept record.
It is kind of.
It's basically about Red Dead Redemption.
Last trip to Tulsa.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bloated, man.
Technically, though, it's pretty high, dude. Carol Kay, a lot of that stuff I was listening to.
Well, they're technical players.
The record is pretty technical. It's pretty hi-fi. It's like
7.
Yep. But the score's getting lower and lower as the albums go on. We know that.
But Natural goes up.
Natural
so
goes up.
compensated. Natural's not high for this.
Not
one.
high on this. It's not very soulful. It's forced.
Not 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Well, it's not because it's like
The Loner's good though.
Well, we keep just saying the Loner, and then but then when he does the Loner later on in his career, it's even better.
It's better, yeah.
He
Also,
figures
Last
it
Trip to
out.
Tulsa.
Yeah.
I got to that one and I was like, oh, sick! Like I love this one. And then it came on and it was this like really boring acoustic version I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
Because the version I liked, he does it with Crazy Horse
Yeah.
live,
Yeah,
and it's like
exactly.
ripping.
Well, they
Yeah.
do the Loner. It's really good.
Yeah. Natural 4, sure. Live performance. So for this category, I consider this category the performances on the album. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
no, that makes sense. Yeah,
yeah, like people's
he's
playing.
not good. He's not good on it.
He's not very good.
And we
on
don't
it,
care
yeah.
about the other people on it necessarily because it's a Neil Young record. They're gonna be good. They're good.
even the
right?
even the guitar playing, the leads on not on the Loner. We'll leave
Yeah.
the Loner aside. Are kind of forgettable. Like some of the lead guitar is a bit forgettable.
His vocals aren't figured out yet, even on the Loner. Like it's pretty static. Sounds pretty sick, actually.
It does. The vocals are good on this one.
Yeah,
Drumming's
other
like-
than this.
He just got away. Like this drummer's really slick. then he just was like, no, I need a way dumber guy.
Yeah, he does. That drums sound great on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that record is just
5.
a 5. Yeah, it's just a 5. All
Sex appeal. It's not very sexual record.
No, 3.
Even the Loner is kind of an incel anthem. a bit.
I was listening to Nick Drake the other day, and there was a song on it that was just made me laugh. This on Pink Moon where he's like, "I am the parasite of this town," and I was like, I guess he's talking about like a mentally ill person, like homeless person or something. But it sounds like a disturbed song.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I was thinking about the loner and that one verse that's totally like an incel.
Oh, yeah.
Like the one verse, he's like, there was a woman he knew like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
She had something he needed and he pleaded with her not to go. Like,
Yeah.
in other words, it's just like,
Yeah, I know.
this
I think
weird guy.
writing songs
It's a good
about,
song.
Writing songs about other people, though, is kind of annoys me like that. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Unless you're
better when
Randy
he's
Newman.
writing about. I'm gonna like shock you on everybody
Yeah.
knows this is nowhere with that take.
Who does he sing about in
It's just
Everybody
like
Knows?
Down by the River. It just like I'm like the lyrics annoy the hell out of me. Like it's so annoying. Like this, like I shot my baby down by.
You know what? You're not
It
wrong.
irritates me.
Lyrically, he gets a lot better later.
Yeah, he does.
Way better.
Yeah.
By
Imagine if
Tonight's
I
the Night,
played a
it's
song
dialed,
like that.
like-
Imagine if I played a song to you and I was like, "Bang, bang, I shot my baby." You'd be like, "James, are you okay?" Like, yeah, no,
gets
I'm just
away with it
imagining-
because
I'm
it's-
imagining what it's like to be a cowboy,
Yeah,
who's to be OJ or something. You know, like. Anyway, it annoys me. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, I know you make a good point about the only song on. Well, we'll get there, but the losing end has really good lyrics.
Cowgirl and it sounds cool. It's like
That one's
trippy.
good, too.
It's trippy.
That one's good too. But yeah, I know what you mean. Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River.
Oh
yeah.
no, Cinnamon Girl's good because it's like cutesy and fun. Like I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with Cinnamon Girl.
Anyway, Sex Appeal 3. Sure, I don't find it very sexy, that album. Fashion, not good. I think of that as like album art.
He's not figured it out yet.
And the album art is bad.
No,
The
it's
cover's
not good.
bad.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, 3. Business acumen. Kind of bad because
3.
Yeah, because imagine if he'd continued in that style. He would have faded away.
Maybe he was
think.
trying with business acumen, I think, as well. He was trying
Which is a
too
bad
hard.
business
Yeah,
move for
yeah,
him.
For him, because he figured out
For
that the less
Neil,
he
it's bad to
tries,
try
it is.
business. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Innovation.
Again, not much. 3, because he's not being Neil Young yet. He's trying to fit into the world of.
But there's elements there of Neil. I think it's about a 4 or a
Okay.
5 because it's like I don't think 3 is pretty low. It's not like blues. It's not like the Blues Breakers or something.
No,
You know,
I
at
suppose
least
not,
it's like-
but it's just like it just would like mesh with a bunch of other records that came out that the Wrecking Crew and Nietzsche and those guys were on. You know, it's just like
4. Give you a 4.
okay,
Endurance. Not good.
no one even knows it.
No one. I haven't listened to it since I was 21
No
years old.
one ever talks about listening to it.
No one likes it. No one's
No one
heard
likes it. No, it's like the first Bowie record.
I'm willing to say 1.
Yeah.
An endurance. 1 or 2.
2,
2.
because you buy it
Because of the loner. The loner.
again. I mean, this is gonna be annoying for you when I say this because I know you feel differently, but it's kind of like how you have to buy Self-Portrait to complete the collection,
Yeah.
or Freewheeling, actually, for that matter.
Both good albums.
Yeah, they are, but you buy them and you don't really listen. Well, you do listen to Self-Portrait, but you buy them and then you kind of have them and you listen to them a bit, but you don't like pop Freewheeling on very often. It's a lot
I guess
better
not.
than Neil
Doesn't
Young.
Freewheeling's got like some bangers on it.
But you don't pop it on, you know?
Not really. But I prefer, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess, well, no, for me, that would kind of be his first album, Bob Dylan.
That's what I mean. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean
'cause
that one,
Freewheeling's got-
good. I mean Bob Dylan. The
Bob
first
Dylan.
record. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. Bob Dylan, yeah.
I have it. I'm not
Neil
listening
Young,
to it.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Not the best
David
Bob.
Bowie. Yeah.
Yeah. Legacy. See, endurance, I think of as like what you said, and also charts. not good in
Yeah,
the charts,
okay,
not
yeah.
hanging. Like endurance for Dark
In
Side of
terms
the Moon,
of
10.
legacy, yeah, legacy as well. I mean,
Legacy's kind of endurance is more like, are people still buying it, still talking about it? Legacy is like, even if they don't
Infamy.
buy it,
Yeah, is it?
yeah, even if they
infamous?
don't buy it, it's
Yeah.
like that Emmett Rhodes album.
Yeah, sure,
Legacy's high. People still talk about it.
That
you
makes
know?
sense. Yeah.
So this one though, not high.
No.
3, 2 again.
Yeah, 2. No one's. It's not being listened to.
Legacy's
He's gonna do
not.
fine later on.
Yeah.
Good example of your endurance legacy thing would be endurance for Tonight's the Night. Average legacy high.
Yeah, exactly. Legacy
Yeah.
9 or something.
Endurance 4,
3,
5.
Probably no. I don't even think people listened to it at the time. Really.
They didn't really.
Okay, I can add this up because these numbers are so low. I can do it in my head.
Just do it in your head.
2, 4, 8, 11, 14, 17,
record.
22, 26, and 7 is 33, and 4 is 37.
Okay.
That's
Sorry,
pathetic.
Neil. Yeah.
I like
Honestly,
this. Albums
albums
get
Dock him
albums
5
can get
points.
really low scores.
Dock him 5 points for what he did to that old lady.
Yeah, she wasn't old either. She was like 30.
Oh damn, that's really bad. Well, I hope she's
really
fine.
felt
I
for
hope
her.
she's.
I hope she's listening right now. And if
I
so,
hope
I'm
she's
sorry
crushing.
to dox you, but I hope
you
you're.
didn't. Yeah, I hope that you got your money back, or at least the money was worth the journey, or something. The journey was worth the money.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
buddy.
I gotta go. I gotta go to the studio now.
Okay, Jim.
Thanks very much, everybody. If you like what you're listening to, this is Impossible Way of Life. You can listen to us bi-weekly. Sign up for our Patreon. It's $5 a month or more if you want to pay more, which I would suggest you probably should.
Yep.
Take care.
Bye.